So the 2023 Nissan Z is here. We're going to talk about the performance, the looks, and all the other details Nissan gave us. I want to start with the looks. Overall, it's a good looking car. It looks exactly like the concept. But that being said, I have the same complaint about this as I did with the concept, and that's the front grille. For some reason, it's just not doing it for me. I feel like they could have done something more than just a completely squared off grille. I could have given it a little more shape, a little more design, made it look a little more aggressive even. I'm not sure, just it doesn't work for me. I like everything else about the front end, but I will say maybe it's the color. It does look better in blue than it does yellow. The blue color is doing it for me. I like it. It looks a lot better. Maybe it's the fact that it just tones that grille down a little bit. I don't know, but the blue looks a lot better. But unlike the front end, I absolutely love the back end of the car. The tail lights, the retro look, the dual exhaust, the black diffuser, everything about the rear end is perfect. Nissan nailed this. It looks retro yet modern all at the same time. Great job there. The side view also looks amazing. It's got the same rear slope as the 370Z for a very good reason. I'll get into that shortly. But even from the side, the front of the car looks a lot better than it does head on. It hides the grille and you can see more of a shape. Overall, I think the Z is a really good looking car. Also a big fan of the wheels. There's two choices here when it comes to that. I'll talk about that in a second as well. But let's dive into the performance aspects of things. Under the hood, we get a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 putting out 400 horsepower at 6,400 RPMs and 350 pound-feet of torque between 1,600 and 5,200 RPMs. Now that's a pretty big, broad torque curve. That's going to be really nice. Now all that power comes thanks to direct injection, variable valve timing, and 14.7 PSI of boost. Now this is the same engine that is in the Infiniti Red Sport, so if things sound a bit familiar there, that's why. And one thing that we've learned from the Infiniti Red Sport is this is a highly tunable engine. There is so much more left on the table with this. If you are into aftermarket tuning and performance mods, you're going to be able to pull a lot more out of this engine. Now, as far as transmission is concerned, it does come standard with a 6-speed manual transmission with an Exetti Performance clutch. But if you have to have the automatic, they do have a new 9-speed automatic transmission with aluminum paddle shifters inspired by the GTR. Now, the Nissan Z is going to come in two different packages, Sport and Z Performance. And there's actually a fairly large difference between the two. The Sport model actually comes with an open diff, where the Z Performance package comes with a limited slip diff. Now with the Performance package, the manual transmission cars will get a rev match feature and carbon fiber drive shaft. Although I think the car has the carbon fiber drive shaft standard, I'm not 100% certain about that. It was listed under the Performance aspect of things, but not the Sport. So I don't know. It doesn't say exclusively for the Performance pack. The brakes on the Sport model will have 12.6-inch rotors up front with 2 piston calipers, 12.1-inch rotors in the rear with a single piston caliper. Brakes on the Performance package will measure 14-inch rotors in the front with 4 piston calipers and 13.8-inch rotors in the back with 2 piston calipers. The Sport model is going to get 18-inch wheels with 245/45/18 Yokohama Advantage Sport tires, and the Performance model will get 19-inch forged raised wheels with Bridgestone Potenza S007 tires measuring 255/40/19s in the front and 275/35/19s in the back. Like I said, with that new tire combination and the Sport Tune suspension that comes with the Performance package, it increases the G-force on the skid pad by 13%. Now a front chin spoiler and a rear deck spoiler are also offered with the Performance package. Now the wheelbase for the new Nissan Z is 100.4 inches. Now that's the exact same wheelbase as the outgoing 370Z. Reason being, it sits on the same platform. Now, obviously Nissan has revised it greatly, but they are still using the same platform as the 370Z. They've greatly upgraded the double wishbone front suspension and the multi-link rear suspension as well. Now the overall dimensions for the car measure in at 172.4 inches long, 51.8 inches high, and it has 4.8 inches of ground clearance. Now I didn't happen to see measurements for the width of the car. I don't know if I overlooked that or if they just weren't in the listing, but very curious of that. I'm probably sure they're going to be similar to the 370 if it's sitting on the same platform, but you never know. Now let's talk interior. This is a gorgeous interior. I absolutely love this interior. First thing I'm seeing is the steering wheel, which is very sporty. You got deep 9 3 notches, good 10 2 grip. Very good looking steering wheel, not overly clustered with buttons. I mean, you got plenty there for everything you need, but it just doesn't seem overwhelming like I have seen on some steering wheels. Behind it, you have a 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. I don't know if this can be reconfigured in a couple different ways, but either way, Nissan did a great job with it. I like the big tack in the center. Goes up to 7,000 RPM red line, although peak power is at 6,400. Really nice graphics, really bright. I like the looks of this. But what I like even more is the triple gauge pod on the top of the dashboard and the fact they put an actual boost gauge there. Not some chintzy little thing that you see in some cars, an actual boost gauge with the vacuum side as well. Awesome touch, I love it. Now the infotainment on the center, you're gonna have two different options depending on the model that you pick. The Sport model is going to come with an 8-inch infotainment center, where the Z Performance package will get a 9-inch infotainment center. And then we have the shifter, which looks really good. Obviously, you can't tell how it feels, but it looks really nice. It also happens to be where your push start button is. Now the rest of the interior, you're going to get cloth seats with synthetic suede inserts. The Performance pack will have power and heated seats. And you'll also get an 8-speaker Bose stereo system. If you go with the Sport model, you'll be getting a 6-speaker Bose stereo system, both of which are going to get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. As far as the rest of the interior, the seats do look really cool. They look well bolstered, very sporty. The blue is going to be kind of hit or miss for me. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. I want your comments down below what you think. I'm not sure if there's other color options that come along with this, or if it's just this in black. Maybe they do it in red as well. But I am a big fan of the all black with the yellow stitching. That looks really good. Now, if they did the same thing with black with blue stitching, I think I would be much more prone to go that route. I even like that strip of yellow they got going down the seats, a really good accent. Now, we don't have performance numbers, so to speak, on the new Nissan Z, but the Infiniti Red Sport, which again with the same engine, it is a 4-door though, will do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be somewhere in that range as well. We also don't have official pricing yet either, but Nissan's saying it's going to be somewhere around $40,000. But let me know what you think down in the comments on the new 2023 Nissan Z. Don't forget to drop a like on the video on your way out, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'm Kevin, and I'll catch you in the next upload.